Welcome to the Half-Blood Report.
Here we dive deep into recent demigod news, upcoming presents books, questions only Zeus knows the answer to, and all over things Riordan. I'm Samuel, your co-host.
And I'm Diego, your other co-host, only slightly sleep-deprived.
So let's jump into the demigod news. First up, Diego, you want to talk about what we got from Riordan?
Yeah, so Riordan published an article. It was, I believe, 4 days ago, this week, celebrating International Women's Day with a couple of quotes about International Women's Day from the authors, from the woman authors of Rick Riordan Presents. So that's Roshani Chokshi, J.C. Cervantes, Rebecca Roanhorse, and Tehlor K. Mejia.
And one of the great things about Rick Riordan Presents is the women outnumber the men here.
Yeah.
If you think about it, because it's just Yoon, Carlos, and Kwame.
It is.
And then, of course, Sarwat in January of 2021.
And also Gracie Kim.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. I guess they didn't add Gracie Kim to this International Women's Day. But, I mean, they haven't even announced her book yet or, like, had a cover. Like, basically,
Or
she's on Rick
anything.
Riordan's website. She's on Rick Riordan's website under, like, About Rick Riordan Presents, and that's kind of it. It's been very much on the down low. But like there hasn't like been any real official press about it. But
Yeah, probably because
it is happening.
Yeah, her book might be like as when Stephanie Lurie told us that Sarwat Chadha wasn't mentioned in that because his book is in early 2021.
Yeah, and her book is like mid 2021.
Exactly. So that's why she might not be mentioned.
Yeah, even though Tehlor K, like her book isn't out yet, and she's still on it.
No, but her book comes out this year.
Oh, so I'm just gonna read what Tehlor K said. Just an excerpt from it. So each of them got to write a thing to put on the website about how they like identify as feminists and how that sort of influences their writing and International Women's Day. So Tehlor K, she wrote, "Feminism and the recognition of what women are capable of is responsible for so much of who I am as a storyteller today, but I can't deny that it's a movement that often fails to support its most vulnerable members." So there's a lot to unpack in that, but specifically the responsible for so much of who I am as a storyteller today, I understood that because I've actually been reading Tehlor K's books in preparation for Paola Santiago, and We Set the Dark on Fire, her debut, which I'm currently reading, has very strong women characters, and I'm frankly like really loving it. It's like it reminds me of dystopian YA fiction like the Divergent series, just without being bad.
I don't know. I haven't read it, but I'll definitely pick it up.
Yeah, so if you guys want to have a perspective on the writer who will be writing Paolo Santiago and maybe get a glimpse of her writing style before the book is published, We Set the Dark on Fire and its sequel, We Unleashed the Merciless Storm, which actually came out recently, are both really good ways to do that. So the next piece of demigod news is less of news, but I thought it should be mentioned. So Yallwest, in case you guys didn't know, is a big book event in Santa Monica, Los Angeles, California. And it has tons of authors all promoting their books. And what I actually found out, Diego, guess how many Rick Riordan Presents authors you think are going to be at Yallwest 2020?
Well, I know that there are only 10, and 3 of them don't even have books out yet. 3 authors?
4. Yes. So Kwame Mambalia, Carlos Hernandez, Tehlor K. Mejia, and Rebecca Roanhorse are all going to be at Yallwest. So I'm probably going to be going there, and I might be interviewing some of the authors. Let's see if I get that. Yeah, so that'll be fun, and you'll get to hear probably like an episode similar to Diego's Boscone episode, but with Santa Monica. So I thought that was interesting. If you're in the California area, check that out. There's a link in the description and everything to Yallwest. And the last piece of demigod news is kind of interesting. It was another Riordan promoting something, but Diego, you kind of want to break it down?
Yeah, sure. So the audiobook version was released for Kwame Imbalia's Tristan Strong.
Yeah, Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky has an audiobook. They were promoting it on Riordan. I listened to the excerpt. I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, where's the excerpt?
It's on the article,
All right,
Diego.
one sec. Let me listen to it. I haven't listened to it personally. I saw the article but didn't listen. Okay.
Anyways, that's if you want a little glimpse at if you really like audiobooks and you want a glimpse at the Tristan Strong audiobook because you're considering re-listening to it, because I don't know. Anyways, if you're considering listening to the audiobook of Tristan Strong, if you're considering getting it on Audible or whatever, you can listen to the excerpt on Read Riordan, and there's a link in the description to that too.
Yeah.
Diego, are you listening to it right now?
What? No, absolutely not. Why would I be doing such a thing?
All right.
That was funny.
Uh, so if Diego is ready to move on, I think we can go to our next section.
Yeah. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. It's about to finish up. All right. Okay, we can continue. We may proceed. Um. So yeah. Riordan review. Name's pretty self-explanatory. In this section, we review either a recent Riordan book or a reread.
And today's Riordan review will be following along with Riordan 2020.
And if you don't know what Riordan Review, it's quite similar to the hashtag Demigodathon that we did earlier in the year. And it's basically an all year read along where we're reading all of Riordan's books.
And today's Riordan 2020 book is The Lost Hero. And so that's kind of what we're going to be discussing in today's episode.
One thing I really like about The Lost Hero is the beginning. Just like the way that it starts is so good because we finished with the original series, right? All the characters that we love so much and that we spent 5 books with, and it just starts with completely different characters in a totally different setting. Um, and then you're kind of like, where is this going? And then suddenly you see Annabeth appear on a magical chariot in the sky and kind of come down and start yelling her butt off. And you're like, aha, this is what I came here for.
So I will tell you, the first time I read that book, I was reading it with my mom. I was reading it out loud to her because that was back when she still gave a damn about Percy Jackson. But so I was reading it, and then I was just and like her boyfriend went missing, and his name was Percy Jackson, and we just kind of like just stared at each other for a good 3 seconds. They were like, "Ooh," um. But besides that part, honestly, the whole beginning kind of really bores me
Yeah.
because first off, it's not setting up one character. It's not Percy Jackson introducing himself. It's three characters introducing themselves and telling the most telling like 5 parts of their backstory at each other. Well, Piper and Leo both talk about their backstory a lot, but Jason just talks an extra amount about how he doesn't remember his backstory. But
Same.
to me, the whole beginning is just like, wow, we're at Camp Half Blood, and we get introduced these Camp Half Blood and the Greek gods, and they don't believe it. To me, it just feels like that whole beginning piece feels like a worse rendition of the Lightning Thief, where you're just like, yes, I get it. I know Camp Half Blood because I read about it in previous books. And so I think on a first read, it's very fascinating to like get to know these characters, and that's
Well,
kind of what's pulling you
it's
along
also
the story.
nostalgic that like you kind of come back to it because
No, because if it were nostalgic, I would be reading the Lightning
I thought it
Thief.
was nostalgic.
No, I think that whole beginning
I
part, it,
liked
it
it.
bores me. Whenever I reread the Lightning Thief, I have to force myself not to skip to the part where they're already on the quest,
Dang.
because I'm like, I get it, Leo. You have all these memories about Hera, and it's like, I mean, there are some funny jokes in the beginning, but again on the reread, like you expect the jokes. So yeah, and I've actually my cousin, she actually had never read the Heroes of Olympus until the summer because she had started the Lost Hero and she was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so boring. I know about Camp Half Blood already." And so today, like this over the summer, my cousin and I, we actually sat down and I'm like, "Okay, we're gonna just listen to the audiobook. You're gonna get over this beginning part, and then trust me, Heroes of Olympus will get better." Um, and then it did. Like my cousin was like, "Wow!" And then like we just basically the whole time we spent together, it was like a weekend. We just like listened like through the entire like 16-hour audiobook and then the Son of Neptune audiobook. Um, but it just, in my opinion, I think the Lost Hero actually, I understand the whole reintroduction of Camp Half Blood because if you haven't because a lot of people see it, if you didn't know about Percy Jackson and you picked up the Lost Hero, it says book one, so you might think it's book one of a series and you wouldn't realize there's something predecessing it. So it's quite easy to get confused. So that kind of introduction is necessary to tell non like people who knew about Percy Jackson or read Percy Jackson when it first came out, to like explain to them the world. But I think for a like a fan who has read it before, read the book before, read Percy Jackson before, it can become a little bit repetitive and dull, the beginning
Yeah,
piece
yeah,
of
I
the
can
book.
see that. I don't know. I wasn't really talking about like the whole reintroduction of the camp. I was more talking about just the scene where Annabeth comes down and she's like, "Hey, I'm Annabeth." And like the entire beginning you're kind of like with new characters and you're like, "Okay, this is a new book. What's going on? When does Percy get here and where's Talia at?" And then Annabeth just comes down and then I believe it's the son of Iris, the rainbow goddess. What's his name?
Butch.
Yeah, I believe it's Butch who goes like, Percy Jackson has gone missing or something, and it's like da da da, and then from there on out, it's
No, he's
kind of
just
just
like,
boring until
no, you don't know the line. He's like, "Oh yeah, you have to be easy on her. She's been kind of stressed out ever since her boyfriend got missing." And he's like, "What's her boyfriend?" And it's like, his name was
and
Percy
then the chapter
Jackson.
cuts and the
No, no,
book
he said that.
begins.
Yeah, no, that I beside, if you take away the rest of the beginning, like that piece of the book is just amazing. That is such a good hook for fans of Percy
Yeah.
Jackson, like who start off on the Lost Hero and they're like, Percy Jackson's
Da,
missing.
da,
I
da.
know who Percy Jackson.
I know that guy.
Yeah, so I think that's all very very good. And I also think the ending, like the last, if we're just gonna talk about sentences that we like love about the writing, I think the end is like Percy Jackson is at the other camp and he probably doesn't even know who he is. Like that ending for someone who hasn't put two together, like by the end of the book, like that ending, I think it's just like when I finished the book, I just sat like for the first time. I just sat down and I didn't have the Son of Neptune. I had owned the Son of Neptune because I bought it beforehand, but I didn't have it with me. So I just sat down and I was like, "Who could the seven heroes be? What's going on? Are they going to get Percy?" Like I just had no idea. That whole just beginning is, I think, pretty amazing. Like that, those like how those lines about Percy Jackson are just so quick, but they also have so much weight because that's like the people who are reading the Lost Hero usually have a strong emotional connection to Percy. So just anytime they say anything small about Percy, it seems to have so much
Yeah,
weight.
yeah.
You know,
I relate that scene a lot to the scene I believe it's in Rogue One where Darth Vader, where you first see him, and then you're like, wait a second, wait a second, wait a second, and it's freaking Darth Vader.
yeah, but that scene might be a little bit different because I think Darth Vader has a different emotional connection to people than Percy Jackson.
Definitely, definitely, but like I kind of felt similar to see like because you're like, oh my god, this is the guy from like the original thing, the dude that I spent like the last 3 years of my life. Like,
Oh, oh no, Diego, why'd you have to bring up Darth Vader? A horrible but amazing thought just
what?
popped
What?
into my head. What if when Rick Riordan is done writing, when he's done writing mythology
Yeah,
books, what if he decides to write a Star Wars?
that'd be actually really cool.
Like, I'm not saying it would be bad. I just don't know if it would be good. I mean, everything Rick Riordan writes is amazing.
Did he write anything before The Lightning Thief?
The Lightning Thief was like his 10th book.
Really?
Yeah, he had a whole like adult detective series.
I didn't read anything. I haven't read anything of his that isn't mythology.
I read the 39 Clues. I think
Oh
I
yeah,
might
but
have
he
skimmed
didn't
through
write
the
all
first
of
few
the
chapters.
39 clues.
Well, he wrote the first one. He outlined the series.
What? Yeah, but then other authors like,
Yeah, but he still was telling them what to write. So actually, it's kind of funny because the 39 Clues is basically the opposite of Rick Riordan Presents.
yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah, because in the 39 Clues, he was telling a bunch of other authors what to write. And in Rick Riordan Presents, he's like trying to redeem himself. He's like, nope, I'm not telling these guys what to write. I'm asking them to write their own stories. So I'm pulling it up right now. His adult fiction series was called Tres Navarre, and it had 7 books.
7 books?
And then he also wrote another adult book that was not part of that series. And so, yeah, if you want to read some cold detective fiction also written by Rick Riordan, Big Red Tequila is where to start.
And then you got Widower's Two Step, The Last King of Texas. The Devil Went Down to Austin, uh, South Told, and
Town,
Mission Road. Southtown.
Rebel
Okay.
Island, yeah. It's I've been actually wanting to read this. It's this series has been on my to be read for ages. And I'm think probably when we're done with our so right now we're technically on a Riordan review section for the Lost Hero. We haven't mentioned the Lost Hero like in the past 3 minutes, but uh, no, when we're done with Riordan reviewing every Rick Riordan book and then every Rick Riordan Presents book, then we should do Riordan reviews on his adult fiction because I I think a lot of people in in the fandom, I mean, I'm mostly speaking for myself here, are have always wanted to kind of read Rick Riordan's adult fiction, but are not so sure if they're gonna like it and maybe just haven't had the time. So yeah, I think that'd be a cool thing for the community to do to like, hey, now we've read every Rick Riordan book. Why don't we do like a readathon for his adult fiction?
Yeah. No, it's really funny. I'm looking at I believe it's the first book he actually made. I think it was even before that series or something. Um, and it's called Cold Springs. And part of the description reads, ahem, working for an old military buddy, he now saves kids for a living, escorting troubled teens to a Texas wilderness school that specializes in the toughest brand of love. Sound familiar?
So he basically wrote a book series about Coach Hedge.
Yeah, basically. Well, I don't know if it was a series. I think that it oh no. There's book 1, book 2. No, there's a lot.
All right. Anyways, let's because we
Get
just
back on
mentioned
track.
Coach Hedge. Yeah, let's get back to the Lost Hero.
Favorite moments?
Yeah, sure. What was your favorite moment about the Lost Hero?
The laser scene's my favorite. Where they're kind of just sitting around and then they're not sitting around.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I probably
Either
like.
either that one or what's it called? The scene where they meet up with Talia in the tents, because I just thought it was so cool. Like all the like gear that the Artemis hunters had. I was like, dude, where do I get that? Those were my favorite parts.
Yeah, my favorite scene is the last scene, just of how like everything is finally broken down and revealed. I love that so much. And then also because it means I get to move on to the Son of Neptune, and the Son of Neptune is probably in my, if not my favorite, it's in like my top 3 favorite Rick Riordan books.
Same, same. It's my favorite out of the Heroes of Olympus.
Oh yeah, Son of Neptune definitely my favorite out of Heroes of Olympus. Um, man, I just love the Son of Neptune so much. It,
I like it almost as much as I like the Titan's Curse.
well, we should probably save our discussions for Son of Neptune for like 2
Yeah,
weeks from now.
Son of Neptune. 2 weeks. Why? I thought we were reading one a week.
Mm-mm. No, Riordan 2020 said. Well, here I'll read the announcement. Sorry, I've been snacking in this episode, so I'm just gonna swallow before I read it. Mm.
I thought we couldn't snack during episodes, Samuel.
No, I just didn't have breakfast this morning.
Yeah, neither did I, and I'm not snacking, am I?
You don't have anything to snack on.
That's also true. That's very true.
This dried mango is delicious.
Samuel. Sam, you better stop.
Anyways, Riordan 2020 announcement. As said previously, we'll be reading 2 books in March. The Lost Hero, first half of March. The Son of Neptune, second half of March. Yeah, it was really hard to come up with this breakdown.
That's funny.
No, that they were like, we will be releasing a breakdown shortly of which week we'll be reading which book. And they were just like, first half, last half.
Yeah, but what are they gonna have time if they go at 2 books a month?
So March is the Lost Hero, the Son of Neptune. April is the Mark of Athena, the House of Hades, the Blood of Olympus. So it goes usually from 2 to 3 books for Riordan 2020. July is the Kane Chronicles. So the whole Kane Chronicles is in July. August is the Sword of Summer. September is the Hidden Oracle and the Hammer of Thor. October is the Dark Prophecy and the Ship of the Dead. November is the Burning Maze and the Tyrant's Tomb, and December is the Tower of Nero.
Oh, cause we already did Demigodathon, so we don't have to do the original series again.
No, they actually did do the original series again, and they were doing it throughout February. But we're like, hey, we just did Demigodathon. Why would we discuss the same thing? So I didn't have us discuss it in any of the episodes. Plus, we are kind of full with interviews with Stephanie Lurie and your boss going episodes. So
Yeah. Oh, same, same. Yeah, we try to do like at least like one special episode a month.
and last month we had 2.
I know. I know.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
There's some months where we have 2, and there's others where we have just 1.
I will say this in April and May, you guys can expect to be getting a number of special episodes instead of just 1.
A number is right.
I think that's probably going to be it for this section. We kind of got off track, but yeah, we both love The Lost Hero.
Oh, no. Before we leave the section, what is your least favorite part of the entire book?
Oh, that's
It's hard to think. Uh,
I don't.
there's
I
so
mean, there's
many
not
terrible
really.
parts to choose from.
I mean, I don't know. There are kind of a lot of parts where Jason or Piper's just having inner thoughts. And to be frank, Jason and Piper have the least interesting thoughts of the 7.
That's true. That's 100% true.
Yeah, so despite the story being really good in the last year, I think there are a lot of parts where Jason or Piper are just thinking to themselves. I'm like, I honestly don't care.
Yeah, the other
Um,
parts, what I don't like is like moments where like Jason's like, I remember something, but I don't actually. And it's like, we already know you find out, and we know what happens. We know where you're from. And it's kind of hard to just read about like
oh yeah, no, I
how
will
he
say
half remembers things.
that mystery of who Jason is, why he doesn't remember where he's from, all of that is fascinating the first time you read it.
But
And
it's
then
not
after it
on a
just
reread.
no, like even on your second reread, you're like, I get it.
We know what happens.
Yeah, it's I don't I don't think that's the and my problem with Jason is that so he was built to not have a personality, because Jason was built to not have a personality, really, because so for kind of two main reasons. One, he's the son of Zeus, so he's kind of you have to be perfect, you know.
Yeah.
Two, or Jupiter, I should say, is the son of Jupiter. But two, he didn't have a memory. So like the idea, I think what the idea was like, he doesn't have a memory, so he can't have a very strong personality because he doesn't remember who he is, basically, right?
Yeah.
But even when he starts to remember who he is, he has the same personality,
Yeah.
uh, which is what kind of frustrated me. I always was kind of hoping that when he did get his personality, there would become sort of shift in his character, where he became, like more witty or like more interesting or had more problems. But I don't know. After he kind of like, you know, got his memory back, there wasn't anything that kind of, because I feel the
Happened.
rest of the yeah, the rest of the seven have sort of more overarching issues that get resolved like throughout the five books, like Frank and his stick of wood, Hazel, and her sort of curse. Like even though it gets resolved in the first book, she still has kind of problems with it and Markovina, and she still kind of,
And then she
and then she
also has like
learns.
the magic mist storyline.
Yeah, yeah, and so then like Leo, like him sort of getting over his mother is take that takes a while for him, and it also the
And also all like
Calypso.
yeah, yeah, the Calypso stuff.
Yeah, and also the romance for Leo is kind of interesting. And then like Percy and Annabeth are having relationship troubles.
Are
Um
they?
and yeah, Mark and Vivina, like Percy gets upset because Annabeth never has time to talk to him, and then he like wants to go with her to fight Arachne, but she can't let him. Uh, and
I
then
guess.
like when even when Percy and Annabeth kind of make up and through the Markofina, they're still like traveling through Tartarus. So that's kind of hard to not be interesting. But then Jason and then even Piper, she has like some interesting things with Aphrodite and
And like
sort
her
of,
knife and stuff.
yeah, her knife. So the vision she gets from the knife add a lot. But then Jason, maybe we'll have different opinions as we go along Riordan 2020 and reread uh the Heroes of Olympus, but I think frankly Jason isn't, the most thought out character arc wise.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. From what I remember, I agree.
Yeah. But enough with the negatives. We love the Lost Hero, uh, and we're looking forward even more to the Son of Neptune.
Yes. Son of Neptune is an incredible book. All right. With that, I think it's time to move on, Sam.
Yeah, it's time for a brand new section on the Half Blood Report.
Yes, the Sphinx in the Labyrinth. In this section, we take a Percy Jackson related quiz with each other.
Yeah, on the air. And today we'll be taking the Read Writing Godly Parent Quiz. And a link is in the description if you want to take it yourself or even take it while we're taking it. So, Diego, I'm on it and I'm going to read the description and then I'll read out the first question. All right. So, congratulations. You survived the monster attacks and made it safely to Camp Half-Blood, the training camp for Greek demigods. What's that? You don't know where to stow your gear? Don't worry, the Hermes cabin will take you in. You can bunk there until you've been claimed by the god who bore you. Or, if you don't want to wait around indefinitely, the gods can be a bit unreliable. Take this quiz for a rapid result. Just don't blame me if you don't like the answer. So, the first question is, which of these is your favorite color? And the
And the
answers are
options are blue, like ocean blue, then you got leafy green, gold, rose pink, like metallic silver, and then like stone black.
I'm going with blue, ocean blue, man.
No, I like green.
All
All
right.
right.
Which of the following places do you prefer?
Okay.
The mall,
Yeah.
the beach, a forest, a library, a cemetery, a concert hall.
Well, definitely not the cemetery. I don't like the mall very much. The beach is nice. Um,
I like
hmm.
a forest. I like, the quiet of nature around you, just sort of hanging in the forest.
I might be the beach or the library. Hmm. I don't know which. Like I like the beach because you just can like play and like sit around, but the library is nice because you can read good books.
Hmm.
Ooh, choices, choices, choices. I think I'll go with the beach because it's nice.
All right. Next question is which of these foods is your go-to?
The options. Oh
Sushi.
yeah,
Oh
go
yeah,
ahead.
you read the
All right,
options.
okay. The options are sushi, shish kebab, s'mores, rice cake, tuna, or barbecue ribs.
So none of these foods is my go-to, but
Wait,
I'm just
isn't
gonna go.
tuna the same as sushi?
Maybe it's like cooked tuna, and then it's not
Well,
sushi.
cooked tuna's nasty. All right, I'm between sushi and barbecue. What'd you pick?
Well, I'm gonna say none of these foods are actually my go-to. That's pizza, but I think probably my favorite of these is probably sushi. So
Yeah, same. I think because it's a lot more like versatile than barbecue ribs.
yeah, that gets, and that's also a lot more messy barbecue.
Yeah,
All
you
right,
need napkins and stuff.
all right. So we agreed on something,
Okay. uh, which of these is your favorite pastime? Is the next question.
and the answers are practicing archery, singing karaoke, exploring a cave, building with Legos, shopping for clothes, and riding a horse.
Ooh, well, definitely not archery. I don't really like karaoke. Caves are cold and also musty and also dark. um, I don't really care much for shopping. I think I'm between building with Legos or riding a horse.
But riding a horse hurts your.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It does really hurt my butt since we're a kid friendly podcast.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
All right, so I'm gonna go with building with Legos.
Yeah, I think I might actually go with the same thing because, like, the horse just keeps going up and down in it and it hurts. All right. We agree on two
Which of
things.
these is your favorite animal? Chihuahua, dolphin, Rottweiler, elephant, owl, deer.
Dolphin. It's an easy pick.
I don't know. I like dolphins, but I'm not gonna choose the same thing as you again. So I'm gonna go with deer. They're kind of cool. Deer.
All right. What kind of music do you prefer? New age, classical, pop, show tunes, cool jazz, and the Grateful Dead. What's the Grateful Dead?
I honestly here I'm googling it.
Yeah, look that up. I don't know what that is.
It's a rock band.
Oh, hmm. What's new age? Is that like rap?
I'm googling.
New age.
Uh, is a term apply? No, that's the religion, not the music. New Age music is a genre of music intended to create a certain artistic inspiration, relaxation, and optimism.
Yeah, definitely not that one. It might either be pop or cool jazz. I like jazz.
I'm I'm gonna go with the Grateful Dead. I've never listened to it, but rock's okay. So,
I'm gonna go with cool jazz because I play jazz.
which of these apps would you be most likely to use? Zombie Run, City Planner, Hurricane Tracker, Love Match, Voice Recorder, Wildlife Calls.
Well, since we run a podcast, I think the only one of those that I might actually use is a voice recorder.
Agreed. Yeah, no, that feels like
The
something
only,
I would use for my podcast. I mean, I would play a game called Zombie Run. I don't know if that's a real game, but
yeah,
I'd
I don't
probably
know.
play it.
Zombie Run's too generic a name for me to play.
Right.
It doesn't look very
What is
complex. Um,
what is your
no,
fatal
I'm not
flaw?
done. I'm not done yet. I
Oh,
might
okay.
actually pick City Planner because that looks interesting. No. Never mind. I lied. Voice recorder. All right. Next
All right.
question.
What is your fatal flaw? I can be moody, I can be arrogant, I can be vain, I can be too proud, I can be selfish, I tend to distrust people.
Wow, that sounds like all of me. All of those sound
Uh,
exactly like me. Is there an option to pick all of
I
them?
I can be moody. That's probably me.
Mm, think I can be too proud or arrogant.
Yeah.
One of those two.
Go with arrogant.
All right. Which is
All
your
right.
best quality? I'm an independent worker. I'm creative. I'm a strategic thinker. I'm good at networking. I'm a steadfast friend, and I'm a natural leader.
If you don't go with I'm good at networking, you're lying.
Exactly.
I'm creative.
Alrighty.
All right.
What'd you get?
Drum roll, please. Drum roll for your. I'm gonna drum roll for you,
Okay, okay, okay.
and then and you can drum roll. Okay. So for Diego's parent,
It's Poseidon, because I'm generic.
all right, all right. You gonna drum roll for me?
Yeah, all right. And for Samuel's pick, it's
I also got Poseidon.
crap. This quiz sucks.
Your godly parent is Poseidon. Good work. Based on your responses, you have been claimed by Poseidon. Go ahead and make yourself at home in cabin number 3. Train well. Don't forget to brush your teeth occasionally, and try not to get sent on a quest. They tend to shorten your lifespan. Your activities director, Chiron.
Well,
Darn it!
that was
Oh man.
undramatic.
Well, that is it for this episode of the Half Blood Report.
Yeah, kind of ending on a on a strange note there. Um, but we'll definitely try out some more Sphinx in the Labyrinth in future episodes. All right, that's it for this episode of the Half Blood Report. Samuel, how can I contact this podcast?
You can tweet at us with compliments, questions, corrections, or suggestions at Half Report. You can also find us on Instagram at The Half Blood Report, or email us at our website, thehalfbloodreport.com.
That said, it's time for credits. Our theme music is actually by me.
I do most of our editing, and our recording equipment is on loan from William Bachman.
My co-host here is Samuel, and I'm Diego.
This is The Half Blood Report podcast, the only HBR that matters. Survive till next week.